Innovate, accelerate, move technology forward. The startup revolution is now.
Hi, good day. My name is Brian and I'm from Zayls. And I'm here today to present to you the practical steps for SMEs towards digital transformation. I think just in this pandemic alone, pretty sure some of us, or almost all of us, have used at least one of these popular applications, uh, whether may it be e-commerce, fintech, social media and entertainment, collaboration tools, food service and logistics. So these are just some of the popular ones that have been driving the digital economy in the Philippines. And also, if you don't know, behind these applications, behind them are the digital infrastructures like cloud technologies, uh, blockchain, could be AR, VR, and all other technologies or that have been making sure that these applications are running correctly 24/7. And this pandemic alone, over the past 2 years, I think many businesses or many habits were formed. Like, for example, people collaborate or communicate through Zoom or MS Teams, or even classrooms. They use apps like Google Classroom to for the classes. And really, this pandemic really forced businesses to shift online, to go to digital transformation. However, as we all know, it's easier said than done, right? Uh, Digital transformation. You've probably heard of that term so many times the past couple of years. But if you really study and do some research, you'll notice that a lot of businesses really haven't actually done that successfully. Maybe they have like they they tried a few but didn't work, and then they just surrendered. Oh, this is not for us. So we have studied digital transformation in the Philippines, and these are the three key factors that we have seen. So first is it's about accessibility and affordability. A lot of people still do not have these gadgets to be part of the digital economy. So plus affordability of the internet connection. So even if you go outside Metro Manila or big cities, you will still notice that the telecommunication, the infrastructure is not yet there. You just probably get 3G instead of 4G or 5G, or some areas have no coverage at all. So with our setup of 7,000 plus islands in the Philippines, we're an archipelago, it's really difficult to establish that digital infrastructure that can cover all the islands in the Philippines. So that's one of the major problems. The second one is the gap in digital literacy and skills. Not not all people would be I would say tech savvy, especially the older generation. They do not really understand what technology is, so they probably shy away from it instead of using it. So plus, of course, some people in the Philippines still do not lack the skills to comprehend or how to use even simple applications. And the third is about digital payments. If you go to India, China, or South Korea, where they are the top in terms of digital payments, they have over 70% of transactions which are already done through digital payments or QR based payments, versus just 30.3% in the Philippines, which was just this was just recently last July. It was published in the news. So you see, there's a big gap in terms of maximizing digital payments. So, on top of those three major factors, we have also identified some of the lesser factors. So, first is about readiness to adopt. Some people are just, I don't know, they don't have the drive to go digital, maybe for whatever reason. Next is resistance to cloud-based solutions. They will probably fear of like what's the web, or they don't understand what the web is. Maybe what they could be hacked or something, or they have biases towards against cloud-based solutions because they don't really see physically where their data are being stored. So that's part of the resistance. Next is the mismatch of skills in industries. So different industries require different types of skill sets. So some probably do not have the necessary skills to perform digital transformation in their specific industries because of lack of resources or lack of materials that can help them. Next is lacks discussions on plans and strategy. If the management team or the top executives do not really have plans or strategies in place for digital transformation, then the entire organization probably won't be having that, and that causes the company to just be stagnant and not really pursue digital transformation. Next is outdated systems or vendor lock-in. So we've seen a lot of different companies who are just stuck with old systems that they're having, like legacy systems. And the reason is they can't migrate out of it. If let's say if you're using a system for quite some number of years now, maybe a decade or two, and there's really no way for that system to be migrated out because maybe because it's still a DOS-based system that you don't really have the source code, or it's been outdated and you can no longer find your previous vendors because it's like 20 plus years already. So you're stuck with it, and companies normally don't want to risk to have that kind of risk uh, to to lose all those data. So they're stuck with it. And lastly is fear of the unknown, which is if you really don't understand what the digital economy is or the digital ecosystem, you probably won't be. You're probably scared with what will happen. Like if you, I'm pretty sure you've been receiving a lot of phishing, spam, and you'll hear probably scams left and right or hacking left and right. So probably these are some of the concerns or the fears that people or organization have that prevents them from moving on to the digital economy. But these are, I mean, they have some basis, but it's already 2022, and all these fears, all these factors, most probably have been addressed already, or there are already ways on how to improve them. Like if you fear about security, cybersecurity these days have been getting stronger. Uh, People have been improving, although the people part in the technology, that's still something that's a missing component. That's why educating or training people how to use the digital like applications is to be responsible and to be cautious of not clicking like spam links or phishing links, or not, or just not, or otherwise they'll fall prey to online scammers. So now we're going to present the 7 practical steps to digital transformation. So you don't have to be big companies like I mentioned earlier, the popular apps. We don't have to be super big, or you don't need a lot of budget to do these things, because these things are very practical and very affordable in terms of, I mean, you also have to invest, but in time, in effort, but these are very uh, reachable by even smaller companies. All right. First is define what digital transformation means to your organization. This is the first step. Think about your business and think about the different aspects of your business. What does it mean, or what should I improve in my business that will benefit from digital transformation? So these are samples of the different aspects of a business or an organization. So, for example, strategy and leadership, operations, technologies used, work culture, customer experience, data management. So, in every organization, these are all very important. And you have to identify which of these in your organization would benefit from digital transformation. What will have the most impact? So, identify and prioritize what you want to achieve. Number two, evaluate business capabilities. So you have to identify the different areas that you want to improve. Like these are more specific. So some examples are customer accessibility. Do you want your customers to reach you in different channels? So especially the past 2 years, uh, when businesses shut down because of lockdowns every month or so, so you lose customers, right? So probably noticed that over the past 2 years, a lot of companies went online. They started building e-commerce sites. They created apps. They went to marketplaces like Shopee, like Lazada. They even go to like Foodpanda, Grab, and similar applications. They probably have used like online groups to do buy and sell. So with any organization, you want to maximize probably your online presence, maybe your social media presence, to ensure that they can reach to you, they can they can see your catalog, your product offerings, services, and even build better customer relationships because that is the power of being digital. Next is business flexibility and adaptability. So we are in the new normal. We don't know when or if there's going to be another lockdown or another variant or something or whatever catastrophe in the future. So we have to make sure that our businesses are flexible and will be able to adapt to any events in the future that will prevent us from operating. So that is the advantage again of having an online presence or even remote or hybrid work setup. That's always an advantage. Next is bridging gaps. Check if your team lacks collaboration or if your employees find the need to adopt new processes. So, especially in hybrid setup or remote setup, so you definitely need to have a lot of communication between your team members or teams because if you fail to have that good collaboration, then that is a recipe for a disaster, right? Next, third is gain buy-in from decision makers. Like I mentioned earlier, if top executives or top management is not agreeable with going digital or doing digital transformation, then that's going to be like a losing battle. It's difficult to move or to do any initiative if the top management will not approve it. So very important to do these activities. So first is do your research and use this data to present to the management what will be the benefits and value that's going to happen if you do digital transformation, of course, your boss would probably need these data to see what could happen. So if you don't have any data to back up your proposal, then that will probably get scrapped. Next is measure and define success. Share the goals. Define how you will measure the results. So we have to do these measurements, because if you don't measure these things, these metrics, then you're just shooting for blanks. Next is get feedback. Of course, there will be doubts, there will be concerns from top management if this initiative will be beneficial or not. Best is to get the feedback and do that constant communication so we can address if any doubts or concerns that they may have. Step number 4, this is to establish a roadmap. So in any initiative, you need to have this timeline. You need to have a clear view of your activities and the timing. So here's a sample. So let's say on the first week, you identify and define what digital transformation means for a business, how it will benefit. Number two, week three, discover and launch, do your research, check out the different applications that you may need, the different processes, or uh, what other things that you may need to launch it. Week 4 and 5, probably, yeah, you have to prepare the team, and then week 6 and 7, implementing new processes, and then week 8 and so on, assessment and adjustments. Then you're done. So just as just one sample. Of course, it differs from company to companies how long it will take them. Step number 5, improve your team skills. This is very vital. If your team is is not equipped to do it, then that's going to be very difficult to achieve. That would probably cause delays or even failed implementation. So, example of activities that we recommend. First is assess team skills. You will have to get help from your HR and to look for the skills and the capabilities of the different teams. This is to ensure that they are capable and what kind of skills that they may need. Next is trainings and workshops. Encourage them by providing trainings. So, trainings, workshops to upskill them, to give them new skill sets, to be able to go digital. This will remove probably their fears, the mismatch of skill sets for their particular industry. So different industries require different sets of skill sets, and so on, right? So it's very important. And if they can get certifications, if to ensure that they have learned really what they need to do, then go ahead. Next is get their insights. Learn more about how they feel about the changes. So they may have some fears that maybe doing digital transformation that could make them obsolete, or maybe automation, robotics, things like that, like AI. Maybe it's not about the technology that they fear. Maybe it's their job that they fear. Maybe it's because they have fears like they maybe I will get replaced or I will get retrenched if we do this automation. But normally that's not the case. Normally it's not about retrenchment. It's more about moving them to a different position or a higher level position, because they need to manage these things. Remember, technology is not something that does not require any human intervention. You always need humans to supervise them, to train them, to ensure that they're working correctly, to supervise them, to measure them. And probably is to and for the last part of the training is to give them to cultivate a digital mindset. It's this is important because in the digital economy, you need to have this kind of mindset. So you need to have that adapting mindset, like to be able to adjust well. So if there are new changes, new technology, new processes. As since now I mean, you probably notice that every couple of months there's going to be a new app that's going to be released, or maybe a new version, or a better way to do things. So we need to be able to adapt. Next is pro growth. It's about learning. You have to to have that kind of mindset, like a growth mindset of continuously learning new things. Next is safe to fail. So, of course, it's not always like, not everything that we do is successful. We do fails from we do fail from time to time, and what's important is to be able to have that kind of safe space, that even if we fail on certain initiatives in digital transformation, we'll still be able to say that, oh, okay, we were able to manage it and to contain it, so not much negative impact in the organization. So this will allow them to have that confidence that they can do those certain initiatives without having like super big negative impact to their company. And finally, focus on well-being. So it's not just about the growth of the company. It's not about furthering the company, but it's also about the team or individual performers or contributors' well-being. So it's all about everyone growing, everyone learning to be better. And step number 6 is simply roll out your plans. So all those research, those planning, those strategizing, they don't mean a thing if you don't roll it out. So you don't have to wait to make everything else perfect before you start rolling out your plans. Otherwise, it will take you. It won't. You won't be able to start. So implementing your process and make sure that everyone understand the goal set. So, all right. So some examples. Outline the steps. So it has to be clear. It has to be well defined. So everyone knows what the goals are. Next is assign the roles. It has to be clear to each person or each team what they need to accomplish, or what will be their role and part for the certain initiatives. Next is to track progress. Check and determine if you are achieving your goals on time, and if there's anything you need to adjust. So, like in any activity, leave some room for changes or improvements, because you may have to adjust certain things along the way. And of course, you have to track the progress. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand or identify which things that you need to adjust. And step number 7, ask for help. So it's not always easy for like a non-technical or non-digital company to suddenly go digital. In the Philippines, there are a lot of companies who are still stuck in using pen and paper, journals, notebooks, in recording their sales, their purchases, their operations, which is good and bad. For some companies, it's suitable. It's perfectly fine for them to do it. Maybe they can use Excel uh, up to certain level. That's fine. It's okay. If you only manage like 10, 20, 50 transactions per day, which is very manageable, then that's fine. Don't complicate things. That's good for for that level of the business. But once you go to the next level of a business, in the scaling up phase, or if you're already scaling up, or you have a lot of transactions, like if you have hundreds or thousands of transactions per day, so you need to start using digital applications, or you have to go digital to improve your process. Otherwise, it becomes unmanageable. You'll probably have a hard time managing your operations, your orders, or your business. So, and normally these companies, they need help, because they will probably, that is not their expertise. So you can reach out to local tech vendors, to know more about digital transformation, how it can be applied to your business or certain aspects of your business. So let me introduce to you Zayls. So Zayls is a cloud-based application that empowers SMEs to digitize and automate end-to-end operations. So our goal is to help our SMEs to improve their operations. So maybe they're the type of companies who are have grown from Excel, or maybe they're using a system that is already outdated, or DOS-based system, or even something that was done like a freelancer or a small company who's no longer available. So, or if you have like off-the-shelf systems that are not really compatible with how things are done in the Philippines, because we have seen a lot of different uh, software from different countries. It's not really 100% applicable with the Philippine market. So you'll have probably adjust some things, or you would have to uh, tweak a bit because it's, let's say, taxes, it has the wrong computation, or it's not being, the operation is not suitable with what you have, right? So our goal is we really want to help businesses to eliminate these complexities. We want we want you to simplify your business operations. We do the heavy lifting for you. So the sales advantage is we want to save you time and money by streamlining your business through simplification and through automation. So some of the key highlights are better inventory control. So inventory, that's one of the big problems if you're selling goods. So if you have multiple locations, multiple warehouses, or thousands of SKUs, that is really difficult to manage if you don't have a good system in place. Even like shrinkages due to clerical errors or theft or fraud, which is very rampant these days. Uh, you could probably be losing tens or hundreds of thousands per day because of theft, because of uh, mismanaged inventory. So we can help you with that. Next is bulk order management. So if you have different sales channels, let's say if you're supplying to different stores or supermarkets or convenience stores, or or if you have a big distribution, or maybe if you're selling online through Lazada, Shopee, or your e-commerce site, or even through Messenger, or whatever sales channel that you have, once you have hundreds or thousands of orders to manage, it becomes very difficult. You will probably have like out of stock uh, problems, or delivery or fulfillment issues. So yeah, you need help in that aspect. We can help you with that. Then finance is made easy. We have to track payables, receivables. That's a fact. So businesses really have to track all those things. And cash flow, that's lifeblood of any business. So you have to ensure that you have the right accounting and finance management in your business. So yeah. Next is our figures. So these are just some of the nine industries that we're involved in. So the food and beverage, fashion and garments, office supplies, electronics, software, shipping, construction, pharmaceutical, and healthcare. So we are managing now $65 million worth of transactions per year, and I think it's still growing. So we are able to cater from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. So we like to make sales easy and accessible, even when you're on while you're on the go. So you just need a internet connection. You don't need to install anything on your phone, on your device, or on your laptop or desktop computer. You just need a browser. That's it. Next is you don't need to be tech savvy. So a usual problem is systems tend to be really complicated. They tend to be very difficult to use, maybe because they have a lot of features, or it's just the design. It's too complicated or too cluttered. So with sales, we design it really to have that kind of intuitive and user-friendly interface that makes it easy for even for those non-tech savvy people. We make it really easy for them to understand what's going on, and we provide very good customer support to ensure that we to ensure your that we can answer your problems. Next is cost effective. So you probably heard of big software like international ones. They're really expensive, uh, but we have designed Zales to be cost effective. So we only follow the best practices and the best or usable features that you may need, like in the Philippine market. So things that you don't really need, we didn't include them. So that's to make sure that you can focus on what you really need. Okay, so some key features, we have the warehouse and inventory, purchasing and procurement, we have the sales and delivery, accounts management, user access control, reports analytics, and custom add-ons. So as a whole, from end to end, we're able to help you run your business. As a We have provided a digital transformation readiness assessment. So let me share with you a sample. So this quiz or assessment can help you identify if you are ready for digital transformation. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we can run through a few questions here, so at least you'll have an idea. So, for example, the tech check: what are the devices or information and communication technology used for your business? Maybe you can take smartphones, laptops, or desktops, or Wi-Fi. Maybe a computerized management system. Does your business use any of these digital marketing tools, social media, e-commerce? You have a business website. So yeah, so just go through these questions. Do you use any of these digital solutions for your business operations? Maybe you have emails, maybe you have messenger apps, messaging apps. Uh, Maybe you're using like Gcash or other mobile banking. Do you use any of these solutions, business management systems, and do the tools you currently use work appropriately with your business and goals? Maybe, yeah. And click next. So about your projects and process, so you can specify. Uh, does your business successfully achieve the set strategies and objectives? Uh, Maybe yes, maybe I rank it at 4. So yeah, so just go through these things. There are different sections that we cover because digital transformation is not just about it's not just about technology. It's also about the process and the people. Okay, so all right. So having said all of those things, having done those planning, strategizing, training, implementation, you can really see that if it's working or not. So what's next? So these are our suggestions. Check the user journey. After implementing the changes to your workflow or to your business or your processes, ask your team about your experience. See if see any positive or negative outcome from these processes. So some samples are: evaluate the improvements. Check if did the process became easier or did it add more burden to the users or your customers or any of the relevant stakeholders? Did they become productive? So check those things. Next is identify the challenges. Did they encounter any roadblocks or pain points while doing those changes? Next is good customer support. Did the new software or new digital tools that you have been using, have they been really productive? Or I mean, did they provide your people to be more productive, or they did have some problems with it, and also check if uh, did you get good customer support from them. So while doing those transformation, next is ensure micro transformations. So digital transformation is not just about one big action that has to be done. These are a combination of a lot of different small tasks or maybe small wins. So even these small wins, if you combine them together, eventually you'll have that big transformation in the long run, which gives you uh, the success that you want for your digital transformation initiatives. So here are some samples. So first is implement digital transformation on lighthouse projects. So what are lighthouse projects? Lighthouse projects are these are small small projects that have big impact. So you don't need to spend a lot of things or a lot of resources for lighthouse projects. So this allows you to test or to experiment. So once these lighthouse projects have been completed and you can see the outcome, and if it's positive, then you already have that blueprint. You can now apply it to other initiatives or projects that you have identified for digital transformation. Next is base changes from data. I've been mentioning you have to measure your data, your metrics, your analytics, because this will help you identify the changes that you may need. Next is to update your team. Keep everyone looped in. Ensure that they also understand the things that you have been doing, what have been the outcome, what have been the benefits, so they can appreciate the initiatives that they've been doing. Next is realignment. Digital transformation is not like a one-time thing. It's always about continuous improvement, continuous process. So be flexible. So change is inevitable. So we always have to do adjustments in our process and to be patient. It's not something like an overnight thing. It's not something that can be done in a day or two, especially if you have a big organization. Probably it will take time, maybe a few weeks to a few months, to see the benefits and to see the small changes. So be patient and be consistent. Next is compatibility. Stay tuned what is happening and re-examine if there is a need to update or change the medium you are using. So sometimes you really have to ensure that you have been tracking of the activities so you can see what you need to update. Preparedness. Like I mentioned earlier, lighthouse projects. So, or if you have a safe space to ensure that even if there will be some issues, you have some backups or you have a risk management plan to ensure that you still can ensure that the or mitigate any problems are arising from the digital transformation activities that you have been doing. So if there are any unplanned or unfortunate events while implementing it, you have the backup. You are safe that you have uh, the confidence to ensure that even if you make some mistakes, you can still recover from it. So finally, this is about reaping the benefits of digital transformation. So I have identified three things, but of course there are a lot more benefits from digital transformation. One example is growing your business. So some companies they're able to grow their business they're because of their workflow, their process, the systems in place. It is restricting them from growing. But now, if you can break free from those lock in or bondages, then you can now grow your business. You can diversify your products or services. You can also tap new audience or market. Like for example, if you previously are just a brick and mortar company, you have a physical store, you're just in one location. But if, let's say you go online, you sell online, then you just opened up your business to not just your town. Maybe you have a new city, that's a market in a new city, or even the Philippines or a different country. So that opens up a lot of possibilities. Second one is about customer retention. So if your customers can reach out to you anytime, or if they need some service or customer support, or maybe they just want to complain something, let's say, yeah, there's a product that's uh, not in the quality that you wanted or that they wanted, they can reach out to you easily. So that develops a greater or a better relationship with your customers. And you could probably have a lifelong customer because of that, as opposed to if they are not happy with your products and services, and there's really no way for them to contact you or to reach out to you, you have just lost another customer. Next is improve financials. You can now track your finances easily and better, and you can allocate your resources effectively. So this will improve your cash flow. It will improve your planning, because if you don't have these data, you're probably just basing your decisions on your gut feel, which probably is not that accurate in terms of having a data that's going to back up your decisions. In the end, it's all about being faster, more efficient, and effective in responding to both internal and external needs of stakeholders of the organization. So this is not just about your employees or the top management. This including your suppliers, your principals, your customers, your partners. So everyone, all the stakeholders of your business or your organization, they will be affected positively by these changes. So in closing, so let me share with you a quotation from Miss Jean Ross from MIT. So clearly, the thing that's transforming is not the technology. It's the technology that is transforming you. Technology is not just about, I mean, digital transformation is just not about technology. It is always also about the people and the process. They go hand in hand. So we hope that you were able to learn something from this talk, and we hope that you'll be able to apply. And if there is anything that we can do to help you, please reach out to us. Let us assist you. We can give you consultation on how you can do your digital transformation for your company. Uh, the QR link I can share with you later. Uh, yeah, that's it. So these are our numbers. So thank you for your time. Have a good day. Bye bye.